Today I'm going to explain how to apply a color to a specific fire resistance insulation type using parameters and filters. Let's create a new project. And straight away I want to get rid of the elevation marks. So if I press VV on my keyboard to bring up the visibility graphics dialog box, go to annotation categories, find elevations and check the tick box and hit the OK button. Next, I want to bring up the MEP fabrication part. I'm gonna go to the View tab, Windows panel, click on the User Interface drop-down arrow and check the tick box against MEP fabrication parts. Next, I go to Settings, and if I click on the Fabrication Configurations drop-down arrow, choose REVIT MEP metric. I'm gonna press Ctrl A in the Unloaded Services window and move everything to the Loaded Services window. Hit the OK button. It's gonna take a second, maybe 3, maybe 5. It's done. I'm gonna create 3 straight ducts. So if I select straight duct, place it, press escape a couple of times, select the duct. I'm gonna press CO for copy on my keyboard. Make sure that constrain and multiple tick boxes are checked, and copy it down twice, like so. Press escape a couple of times. Now let's assume that these 3 ducts require a fire resistance insulation. I'm gonna select the ducts, go to Properties, find Mechanical, and click on the drop-down arrow against Insulation Specification, and I'm gonna choose Insulation 50 mm. Hit the Apply button. Press escape a couple of times. Let's change the detail level to Fine and visual style to wireframe. Now I'm gonna go to the 3D. Press WT on my keyboard to see 2 views side by side. Press ZA to zoom all. Let's imagine that each individual duct needs its own insulation with different fire resistance properties, such as 30 minutes, 60 minutes and 90 minutes. And it needs to be represented on a ventilation design layout with specific colors. In these cases, some people apply filter regions. They will literally go to the Annotate tab, Detail panel, select Filter region, draw the region, select Solid Fill, and change the color, let's say, to orange. Hit the OK button. The problem with this option is, let me select the duct. If I change the duct width to, let's say, 900 mm, every time I update the duct size, I will have to update the filled region shape as well. It's time consuming. I prefer another way of doing it. Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna press Ctrl Z to undo it. I'm gonna go to the Manage tab, Settings panel, Project Parameters. Click on the Add button. If you are planning to export your parameters into another project, then you might as well choose Share Parameters. but for now I'm gonna choose project parameters. I'm gonna call it fire resistance. It's gonna be instance parameter. Discipline is common. Type of parameter is gonna be text, and I'm gonna group parameter under fire protection. Let's choose values can vary by group instance. In the categories field, I'm gonna choose MEP fabrication ductwork, insulation lining, and let's check this tick box to make sure that we've selected correct elements. And yes, I am happy with that, and I'm gonna hit the OK button. Hit the OK button. Now I need to create filters for different fire resistance insulation types and associated with specific colors. If I press VV on my keyboard to bring up the visibility graphics window, go to filters, click on the edit new button, create new filter. I'm gonna call it FR30, which stands for fire resistance 30 minutes. I'm going to make sure that insulation is included as well. And let's check this tick box to make sure we've selected all we need. I'm gonna choose fire resistance parameter we created earlier, and it's gonna be equal to FR30. Click apply. Next, I'm gonna duplicate this filter 2 times. Rename this filter to FR60, as well as that, update the rule. Apply. And finally, rename this one to FR90, and as well as that, updated the rule. Hit the apply button. Yep. Hit the OK button. Click on the add button and add the filters we just created. Hit the OK button. Let's assign the pattern, and as well as that, the color. It's gonna be solid fill. I'm gonna make this orange. Okay. This one is gonna be purple, and finally this one, I want it to be red. Yes, and hit the OK button. If I select the top duct, go to properties, find the filter we created earlier, fire resistance, type FR30, click apply, and I'm gonna repeat the same procedure for middle duct and bottom duct. The option with parameters and filters is much more efficient as opposed to the field origin option. You only need to create parameters and filters once and use it in your project. If you decide to update the duct size to make it wider or narrower, the color changes with it. Let me demonstrate this. If I select the top duct and change the width to 900 mm, hit the apply button. If I select the middle duct and change the width to 200 mm, hit the apply button. Press escape a couple of times. I hope you liked the video and find it useful. If you know better options, please comment down below.